Welcome, everyone. We are live. It's Wednesday. Yay! We're at Wednesday. Asking or telling. You know, when well, I shouldn't say we because I don't, but you know, when you use ChatGPT, when you ask it to do something for you, are you asking or are you telling? It's quite the same thing with prayer. Are you asking or are you telling? You see, because when people use ChatGPT, they have a certain expectation. ChatGPT crawls the internet and it pulls based on your keywords that you use to bring back an answer, right? There's a certain expectation that you'll get an answer. And if you don't get the answer that you're looking for, what do? You refine the question, right? So, what is the difference between asking and telling? Because the point to this would be prayer and what it is and what it signifies. You see, because we think that prayer is asking, when in actuality, you are telling. You're telling. Ponder it for a moment. Contemplate it. You're telling because you can see that there's something that you want. You can see that there's something that you want. And so you ask, but you're telling at the same time. You're doing both things at the same time. If you don't know what you want, how can you tell someone what you're looking for? So you see, it doesn't matter which way you want to spin this. It always comes down to one thing: knowing what you want. Knowing. So when you go through the day, do you know what you want? My coworker last night, oh, she's so sweet. She's so young, you know. She says, I don't know what I want to do. I haven't decided what I want to do she goes, I truly don't know. And I said to her, well, if you don't know what you want to do you know what you want to feel like when you get up in the morning to do it? I tell you every day that we are not stuck. Well, you can't be. The principle of vibration tells you that you can't be stuck because vibration tells you that everything is moving all the time. Nothing stands still. It's either moving so fast and you can't see it or real slow and you can see it move. But everything is moving, which means you. So you're not stuck in any situation at any given time. So if you don't know the thing and you can't name it, well, remember to use the principle of cause and effect. Because every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So if you don't know what you want, you know how you want to feel, which is the effect. The what? The corresponding effect. As within, so without, principle of correspondence. So you know how you want to feel. And when you know how you want to feel, that effect will bring about the cause. It can only bring about the cause that matches it. So when you ask, you are actually telling. And you're telling because you know what you want. But there is an expectation of receiving. There is an expectation. One does not ask without the expectation of receiving. So then why do we want to make a change in our lives and then hope that it changes? The expectation is that you change. That's the expectation. I know some people say, well, you shouldn't have expectations because that way you won't be disappointed. The principles never leave anybody disappointed because you always know how it is going to turn out. So today, whatever that thing is that you've got going on, that you're struggling with, and you say, whoo, I really need to make a change. I don't even know where to begin with my change. The very fact that you have acknowledged that you want to make a change, that is the beginning. And if I ask you, well, what change do you want to make? Well, you can tell me, can you not? So if you think about it, if you contemplate it, asking and telling are the same. They're not different. Contemplate it. In order for you to ask something, you have to know what you want. And if you know what you want, well, then you're telling. And when you ask because you know what you want, and then you tell me, what is your expectation? You see, the law, as I said, never disappoints. Well, it's pretty obvious. As within, so without. As above, so below. It's telling you, the principles are always telling you that every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So you're never left in a position of, I don't know. Because the first principle cannot ever be contradicted. The first principle of knowing thyself, that all is mind, the universe is mental. The all is. It is. So it knows what it is. And it knows that what it is, it will do. So what is it that you're asking of yourself? I don't think we do it enough. We don't contemplate enough. Because we fret too much. We really do. You want to make a change in your life. Well, then you must know. As within, so without. The change you want. How do you get the change inside? Listen, we only ever live from the inside out. As I tell you day in and day out ad nauseum, you can't break law. You can only live by it. That is the design. You can only live by way of principle. It's not a select few who do it. We all live by principle, by the law, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. We live by them. The whole universe runs because of those principles. So whether you are in this dimension or another, the principles apply. We cannot escape the principles. So if you sit here this morning and you say, my life is great, you are still living by the principles. Everything is always working out for me. You're still living by the principles. And even if you say, oh my God, it sucks. Why is the world going to hell in a handbasket? We live by principle, by way of law. And the way to change is to change the internal. To change the internal, when you ask, you are telling at the same time. And my son says, Ma, are you going to make cookies? He's not actually asking me if I'm going to make cookies, you know. He's telling me what he wants. He's telling me what he wants. He wants cookies. Asking and telling is the same thing, but you must know yourself. Granddaddy always told me, you can lie to anybody, but you can't lie to yourself. You have the ability to fool anybody, but not the self. This is why it is so important to know your own self. Know what your inner voice sounds like, so that when you hear something, you'll know, well, that's not me. You see, we walk through this, it's invisible. We walk through this invisible thing on a daily basis. You'd call it the ether. You can't see it, but it's sticky because it has to bring things together and hold them together. It's cohesive, right? Thoughts are projected outward because we live from within. So when we live from within, thoughts are projected outward, and we're walking around, and Neville Goddard said that it is the creative man who projects, and then other people fall under his projections, meaning they allow themselves to be influenced by the thoughts of others. Well, how do you think that happens? Because they are projected outward. So it doesn't matter which way we turn. It is imperative that you know the sound of your own inner voice, so that when you go out into the world and you hear something, encounter something, see something, you know yourself so well that you can say, meh, that's not me. And by knowing that something is not you, you don't fall under the influence of it. So asking and telling. Asking and telling are the same. If you pay attention, you'll see it. But they stem from one place. The all is aware of itself. Because mind is the awareness. And as I've said, awareness would be, what are you doing right now? Oh, I'm sitting on the couch, or I'm driving, or what are you doing? You are aware of yourself doing something. See, we're always aware of the self first and then of what we're doing or what we're not doing. But you're always aware first so that you know the difference. And you see, let me give you an example of being under the influence of somebody else. Oh, you see that person? Don't talk to them. They're no good. You can't trust those kind of people. And you see, we run with that. And it creates division. Now we're not knowing our own selves. We're now under the influence of somebody else and their opinion. And then we live our lives under that influence. You see, when you hear the phrase under the influence, we think drugs, alcohol. Yeah, perception is the biggest thing to be under the influence of. So much so that we can't tell the difference between asking and telling. If you pay attention, you will see the difference. But it comes down to one fundamental thing: knowing you. Simply the best. Hey, girl. I see you. I see you. So today, it does not matter what situation you presently face. I had a meltdown yesterday driving. It doesn't matter what situation you face. Why? Situations come and go. Because every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. But you have to know that you are the one in control. How did I have a meltdown yesterday? I was driving to work. This is why I tell you, when you get up in the morning, it is helpful to remind yourself, because there's so many things going on at any given time. And if you find that you're hungry or you're tired or you're this or you're that, it is so easy to go right back to that old habit. How you going to drive a semi and not know how to drive a semi? Sir, come on, sir. Listen, I did not lean on my horn, but I sure was mad. I'm like, you putting everybody at risk now. And that's what made me lose my cool yesterday. Little things like that. So you see, it's not that I don't live these things. And all the while I'm going through it, all the while I'm having this moment, I'm watching myself have this moment. And I was like, Angela, I'm watching myself have this moment. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's in the back of my mind as my heart rate is up, my temperature is up, my ire. And I'm watching myself and I'm feeling this moment and I'm like, ah. And I say to myself, well, dang, girl, you done threw everything you know out the window. So when I tell you that situations don't matter, you are the one in charge of who and what. Well, you. It's okay to have your moments, but you have to get up from those moments. You have to get up from those moments. We cannot lose ourselves in the moment. I don't care what Eminem tells you. Never forget yourself in that moment. Don't lose yourself in the moment. Lose yourself. No, no. So as you go through this day today, and you experience things, remember who you are. You're not a lackey. You're not a peon. You're not insignificant. You're none of those things. You are, however, all that is within the all. You're not some insignificant creature. You are a phenomenal being. As Daddy would say, I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. Are you phenomenal? I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that you are. It's not my opinion that you are phenomenal. When you understand or you comprehend that the all is, and you go outside and you look around. I saw this picture, well, it's a video. This cameraman was filming a puma, a mountain lion, aka cougar, right? Just the most beautiful creature. Those eyes can tell you so much. And when I saw that, I said, wow, how beautiful. You see, when you stop for a moment and you admire the beauty that is, you could tap a maple tree and get the most beautiful syrup there is. You can tap a hive and get the sweetest honey, and it doesn't go bad. Those things seem so mundane, but they are not. Do you know the chemical composition of honey as to why it wouldn't go bad? Like, cause and effect are at work in that. But we take those things for granted. And when you take those little things for granted, and when you look in the mirror, you can't see how valuable you are because you've disconnected yourself from those things because, meh, it's only honeybees. But the same thing that sustains the honeybees, the same thing that sustains you. So when you look and you get a grasp of how beautiful your surroundings are, and you marvel at those things, you cannot help but understand William Blake when he says, you see the wings of a hummingbird, you've seen the face of God. And then some would argue, well, God doesn't exist. It's not whether God exists or does not exist. It is, what have you noticed? When you stop and you notice the marvel of what you are capable, the symphonies we create. One of my favorite sculptors, one would think it would be David, but no, it is Hades and Persephone. I have a picture posted of it. The way he chiseled that clay. Well, he had to chisel the clay first before he can get the marble. But the finished product, when you look at the marble and the way the hands are on the thigh, It looks like flesh. That came out of his mind. For him to look at marble and give it life, it looks so lifelike. How he has it chiseled, the shadow, the indentation. So what I'm saying to you is this. If you take the time to look around you, stop and smell the roses. Summer rose, stop and smell the roses. You would begin to understand what you are. Because then you would marvel at the way you function. You would marvel at the capacity that you have. Oh, indeed. And then, because it's funny, you already know. The only reason why we balk and resist is because the idea or the false perception of what we've been fed that God is, that's what we rebel against. And you're not rebelling against it because you don't believe in God. No, you're rebelling against it because the perception is off. It feels weird. You can't get behind it. You're like, there's something wrong with that. And so you reject it. What is rejecting it? The truth that is within you is rejecting the false perception. Because when you look around, listen, we live by the mountains. And when we're driving into those mountains and you see the snow and the waterfall coming down from them, and sometimes there's no words, but once you get there, it takes your breath away. You look at them and you're like, well, gosh darn it. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And the beauty overwhelms you when you look at it. And within you now, you say, that didn't get there on its own or get there by coincidence. Something caused it to be there. Yeah. A hummingbird goes backwards and forwards. And all you can do is just stand there with your mouth hanging open like, wow. See, the truth that is within you acknowledges the truth that surrounds you, my friends. This is why when a perception arises that does not sit well with what is within, not what was put within you by way of school, but what is within you because it is what powers your very existence. That is truth. But you know what? You've got to contemplate it. What does it mean to contemplate? Think about it. That's what contemplate means, to think about something. So when you begin to recognize that asking and telling are one and the same thing, well, you'll see why it is. And then these other little things, when you begin to put them into perspective, when you begin to put traffic into perspective, you won't lose your cool. Don't pull an Angela. Don't pull an Angela, please. When you begin to see that, when you begin to recognize that something is trying to polarize you, you won't fall prey to it. Do you know why? Because of the principle of mentalism. The all is aware of itself. So because you are aware of yourself, you can tell when something is not. And then it won't bother you. You won't take offense to somebody saying, well, you don't look smart. Oh, you don't even look like you got anything in the world. It won't affect you because you know what? You know that what you require, you can bring about. Now you move with an inner peace, an inner knowing that such as I am, whatever I sow, I will reap. That's how you will walk through the day and not take offense, not fall prey to perceptions that are being fired around through the world like fiery darts of the enemy. How apropos. But you know, it is what it is. Take your time. Stop and literally and psychologically smell the roses. Just take your time. And you will stir up the truth that is, I can't even say that it's laying dormant because it's not just laying dormant. It is there and it is active. And you'll see the truth that is within you. And when you start seeing it and feeling it, oh, you will act according to it, won't you? And it will show you as clear as day that you are not insignificant. You're not worthy. You know how many of us walk through the day feeling like we aren't anybody special? Because the perception of special has been tainted. Of course you're special. Of course you are. Not special in the way of man and man's opinion of special. You are special in the fact that you are aware of your very own self and know that you can change no matter what. That's what makes you special. And everybody has the exact same capability. Like I was telling my son on Sunday, and I'll close with this. As he was asking, he says, Ma, why does everybody think we're so different? I said, we're not different. We're one and the same. Because at any given time, all 8+ billion of us inhale and exhale. Same time. So it doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter if you poor. It doesn't matter if you black. It doesn't matter if you're Chinese. It don't matter what you think you are. You put us all in a room together and we hold our breath. We all need exactly the same thing. Because it is that breath, that singular breath that is within each and every one of us that tells you we are one and the same, we are connected. But because we have fallen prey to a false perception that says, well, I'm different from you. Well, I'm not you. You're not me. You're not even like me. You could pull a Kendrick Lamar, but I'm just telling you that that is a false perception. So when you hear that fancy little scripture that tells you love your neighbor as yourself? What's it telling you? Because then it will make you ask yourself, well, is my neighbor me? Yes. Your neighbor is you. Funny thing that when two people meet and they look each other in the eyes, they don't see each other. They see themselves. How? Well, literally you see yourself when you look somebody in the eye. What's reflected back at you from their eyes? Your own image. So you don't see the person physically. You see your own self reflected back. So how then can they be different? They've experienced different things at different times. But you see that breath that they're breathing there? God, I just wanted to say Morpheus. You think that's air you're breathing? Listen, don't let me hold you up this morning. As you go through this day today, remember the 7 principles: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. And you're going to funnel them into 3 simple steps. Step 1, you can see exactly where you are and what you're doing, and you say, I want to change that. Great. That's step 1. Acknowledge. Well, you must acknowledge because the all is. You must know that you are. And then you say, well, if I don't want to do that anymore, what do I want to replace it with? What behavior do I want to replace it with? Who do I want to become? You have to become that new thing in order to do a new thing. Why? Because the principle of correspondence tells you, as within, so without. So you have to become it. Well, how does one become who they want to be? There is a mood, a mental attitude that accompanies the change. That mental mood is invisible, but the behavior that accompanies that mood is visible. So what behavior do you want to put out into the world? What do you want to do? So you get the attitude and the behavior will naturally follow. Why? Because the attitude is the cause and the behavior is the effect. So you get the cause, the effect will follow. You say, well, I don't know what the cause is. It's okay. What is the effect? What do you want to feel? What do you want to do? That will bring about the cause. Why? It will trigger the mood within you. It will trigger the mental attitude within you. And then you will start to behave in the new fashion. So step 1, you acknowledge where you presently are. Step 2, you decide what you want to become. Step 3, you allow that feeling of what you want to become. Because what you want to become feels a certain way. You want to be rich? What's the feeling of rich? The security. Because you can go anywhere, do anything. You have what? Freedom. That is the feeling of rich. That's the feeling of rich. So become those things mentally, your mental mood. And when you become those things mentally, you persist in that behavior. Why are you persisting? Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist? You persist because it is the persistent behavior of the new or the old, because it is just a persistent behavior that brings about the what? The rhythm, the habit. And from that persistent behavior, you now become what you have persisted in. My boss said to me the other day, he goes, "Come, voodoo lady, make my back feel better." Oh, voodoo lady is what he calls me. We don't do voodoo around here. It's just another name for the law unknown. He goes, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Because the law says, as above, so below. So if you got a problem up here, you got a problem down there. So I just got to stimulate the meridian." He goes, "That's so weird." And I'm like, "No, it is law." So you see, your change, my beautiful friends, if you apply those 3 steps, acknowledge, decide, and feel and persist in the feeling, or as Neville says, experience in imagination, what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. So that is why you don't get what you want to, because what you want is a mental attitude that you project outward. And that mental attitude is the behavior you will exhibit. So wanting says you don't have. That's the mental attitude of want. I don't have. And as within, so without. So you must become it. You catch the mental mood of who you want to become. And because you've caught that mood, cause and effect, now you have to do what that mood dictates. And you persist in that mood. And you set down a neurological pathway. And how are you going to live now? From within. So whatever that neurological pathway, that mental mood that you habitually practice, my friends, you become it. So go forth today and know that you can change. You are not stuck in any situation. I ain't asking you, I'm telling you. That's what my daddy always says. He goes, "I'm not asking you, I'm telling you." I'm like, "Oh, Daddy." So now you know that asking and telling are exactly the same. Because you must know who and what you are in order to ask or tell. They have the same root. Oh, anyway, Melly Mel. Hey, girl, she's in the house. K-Frame is in the house. The better man. Hello, darling. I see you all kicking it with us in these YouTube streets. There's more of you here. I could guess who you are, but it's better probably if you tell me. Habit would dictate that Miss Liza is somewhere around. Maybe even Mr. Stafford Jr. Oh, my. Twitter is as Twitter is for the replay gang. Let me get up to my screen here so I can see who's here on fan base with us this morning. Summer Rose is in the house. Oracle Tree House. Big Mike. I see you, Miss McQueen, darling. Hello. They call me Yellow Mellow. I see you, Mellow. My sweet KZ. Ray Ray. I see you. Listen, thank you all for being here. I shall not keep you long, longer than I already have. What's YouTube saying? YouTube said we've been here for 44 minutes. Remember, acknowledge where you are. Don't judge it, for God's sake. Oh my God. Why am I doing this again? Stop that. Just acknowledge. You say, oh, look, I'm there. Yes. Where do I want to be? Who do I want to become? Yes. Because you have to decide who you want to become. Or else, if there's no blueprint, how are you going to become it? So decide who you want to become. And understand, comprehend that who you want to become has a mental attitude. And that mental attitude has behaviors. Oh, that's why you can say somebody is cocksure. Well, why? Because you ever seen a rooster? One who knows for sure who and what it is? Like popcorn? Yes. Popcorn will come into a room and all them hens go. Because they say, yes, we know who you are, sugar daddy. Because of the way he moves. I like the way you move. That's how they behave around him. Because he knows what he is. He is sure of himself. You ever see a peacock when he put those feathers out? Oh, hallelujah. You've got to be as sure of yourself. But of course. Well, how else are you going to recreate it? You have to know. So when you say, I want, then you will recognize what you just said. And you'll say, no, I am. Anywho, he gonna sing his song. As he always does in all of his glory. Thank you all for being here and spending this time with me a little bit. An itty bitty lady. You do make the day special. You do. And I love you so much. I genuinely do. Oh, I'm coming to feed you. Don't I always, son? Don't I always? He's like, yes, but you're taking too long, mother. Countdown initiated. 5, 3. You just said 4. 2. I'll give him the last one. And there you have your countdown, my beautiful friends. Teamwork makes the dream work. Me and a little bit are a team. We are the A team. You know what? I digress. I love my boy. Even though he does chase me, I still catch him. Anyhow, go forth and know. Go forth and know. As Daddy always says, man, know thyself. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Know this. And I will see you on the morrow, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Fanbase, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, much love to each and every one of you. Oh, right. Check out the website, y'all. PositivelyAngela.com. Hello. All right. Love you.